Happy Spiritual Sunday to you all, and welcome to another Kabbalistic consciousness, because as we always affirm, consciousness is everything. And something that's come up recently in classes, I just want to remind you and or share it for the first time. As you learn Kabbalah in the center, as you learn on Spiritual Sunday, there is going to be, and I don't mean it in any negative way, but there basically has to be some confusion in your mind. Why? Because the old false ideas that we've held about life, about ourselves, about the way things operate, is being confronted by the universal truth of the Zohar and what we teach in the Kabbalah Center, and therefore here also on Spiritual Sunday. And that awakens confusion. The issue is you do not have to stay in that confused state. The idea is that that state of confusion is a temporary part of the process of transformation, or metaphorically remodeling your thinking, your perception, your consciousness about yourself and about the world and about God and about how things operate. And so if you found yourself confused, let it be a blessing. The issue is go through it. Don't just stay there. Learn more, listen, watch Kabbalah, watch Spiritual Sunday again, go on Kabbalah.com, watch some of the classes again, seek out greater clarity about the thing that awakened the confusion so that you'll learn how to apply it, live it, use it in your life, and therefore elevate your consciousness, elevate the blessings in your life, and transform the chaos of darkness into the blessings of light. So, as we do, I want to read to you from Karen's book, Simple Light. And in many ways, as the Kabbalists teach us, often that which seems small is often greatest. So here in 3 lines, Karen reach into the heart and soul of the seed, let's call it, of chaos, of why you and I have allowed ourselves to create chaos. And let's use this as a way to change that, to create harmony and order, as we'll learn in the lesson today. Karen says like this: there is so much bad in the best of us, and there is so much good in the worst of us, that there is no possibility of finding fault in anyone. Yes, do you hear the opponent in your head already? Chaim doesn't know that person. Karen doesn't know what they did to me. And on and on and on. But as we'll discuss today after our affirmation, but fundamentally to always, always, always remember, there's only one creator, created one soul, and that soul filled with the light of the creator, that pure light, can only be, as we often say here, a pure and perfect being of light. Yes, we have free will. We have that opponent that we put in our head, that original AI program to challenge us, that when we give into it and act in a reactive way, yes, we cover our perfection with mud. And therefore, as Karen said, even you and I, who are great people, we still have so much negativity. We have to be able to turn around and look, those people we think are so terrible and nasty, etc. Yes, we're not justifying their bad actions. At the same time, the only way to stop the chaos, as we will definitely speak about today, is by understanding that there is, as Karen called it, so much good even in the worst of us. So let's say our affirmation together and strengthen, intensify the consciousness of engraving this thought, this truth in our heart and soul, that it's more effective, it's more emanating out of us and our actions every day. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And so I want to share with you yesterday in the Kabbalistic calendar, yesterday was what the Kabbalists explain is the ultimate day of love. And so I thought it's very apropos to talk about love today because, as we all know, so many songs, so many much poetry, so many books, so many movies, so much everything out there about love, romantic movies, love stories, you go on and on and on. But if you think about the way we use the word love, it's emotion. Today, someone's emotions are making them feel love towards a person. But like so many, usually younger people, I want to say children, tend to point out, have you ever said, oh, I loved my vacation. Oh, I love that place. Yes, I love steak. I love Chinese food. I love whatever. I love the gym. I know some of you are going, no way. What's he, crazy? Okay, but you get the idea. We toss the word love around so much that even though when it comes to people, we think we understand it, the way we use the word love, when we say love steak, love this food, love the gym, love that place, love swimming, love tennis, love baseball, whatever it is, we need to understand that the consciousness of that word used in those ways is very limiting, very limiting. And because of its limitation, creating challenges, chaos in people's lives. So even if you look up in the dictionary, which I did, this is what they say. What's love? An intense feeling of deep affection, or a general interest and pleasure in something. Okay, so it's fleeting. Fell in love, fell out of love. Fell in love, fell out of love. Loved them, then they did XYZ, don't love them anymore. So we want to go back to what we're learning here in the Kabbalah Center on Spiritual Sunday, because the Zohar is the blueprint of the universe. What the center teaches from that pure wisdom, technology of the Zohar, is the universal details of life, the technology of the soul. That soul, that piece of the Creator that resides in each and every person on earth. There is no human being on earth, no matter what they do, how they speak, how they act, that does not have a soul full of the light of the Creator. So what you and I are learning is how to understand what the light is, the various facets of light, and as for today, what is the light, the Kabbalistic Zohar understanding of love. So let's start with mathematics, or in spiritual frames, it's often called numerology. So if I ask you like this, and it's not meant to be a math test, but it's a math test. 4 plus 3 equals 1 plus 6 equals 2 plus 5. They're different numbers, but put together in different combinations, all come out to the same, 7. Kabbalistically, what's called numerology is that every Hebrew letter has a numerical value, the physics of the universe. So the word love, ahava, is numerically 13. At the same time, what else is equivalent with that? The word for unity, oneness, echad, is also numerically 13. So applying that same principle as in mathematics, therefore love and unity are one and the same. True love represents a true unity. So, as the Bible says, and we know and we'll talk about it a little more today, the Bible is a code. Yes, the Kabbalists and we in the center believe Adam and Eve existed, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. All those people existed. They did what they did. So there is a facet of, let's say, historical truth to the Bible, to the 5 books of Moses, but the Zohar explains it is coded. So it shows one thing on the outside, but the Zohar says we are not meant to take it only on its literal level, but as a person wants to grow spiritually, they will use the Zohar and the true Kabbalistic teachings to unlock the codes of the Bible from historical events thousands of years ago to practical spiritual technology that you and I and every human being on earth can use today. So in the Bible it says we should love God, which we understand the light. We should love God with all our heart, all our soul, and all our might. Meaning, as we now understand, to constantly, in all ways, shape, or form, be unified with the light of the Creator. Unity, true love, means constant connection, unification, channeling flow of the light of the Creator through us. Now, just in a sort of romantic way, let's call it a relationship way, something that Karen always spoke about when talking about love and relationships, the story of Isaac and Rebekah, the patriarch and matriarch from the Bible. And it says, he saw her, he married her, and then he loved her. So Karen would always say, the way most people act, it's sort of out of order. Usually, 2 people meet, they fall in love, then they get married. No. What the code of the Bible, unlocked through the Zohar, is teaching us, that yes, when Isaac saw Rebekah, he saw her soul and understood they were a match. Even, let's call it true, absolute soulmates, 2 halves of a soul. But in order to have true love, those 2 halves had to be glued, if you will, together. That's what the code of married means. He saw they were 2 halves of a soul. They got married, brought that spiritual glue to unify themselves. Then there could be love. And the growth of that thing called love, the emanation of their soul's light into the world. But, like all things in this physical world, we have choice. We have choice how to use that which the Creator gave us. What's the choice? Reactive, desire to see oneself alone, egoistic, if you will, behavior, which brings immediate gratification, but short-term fulfillment. The other way is a proactive behavior, sharing the light from within in the frames of love, kindness, and compassion as we affirm it, which is not necessarily comfortable in the moment because it's an effort shining light into the darkness or into the chaos, but it brings long-term fulfillment. And therefore, in this frame of understanding, emotions, and I'm not saying we shouldn't feel emotions because we have a human body, we've had human influence for thousands of years and lifetimes, and therefore the emotions can be used to help us grow spiritually, true spiritual lasting growth. But emotions in and of themselves are the ups and downs of life. Like we said before, person, fell in love with somebody, fell in love with that place, fell in love with that sport, fell in love with that television show. And then they fall out of love with that person. So the ups and downs, meaning the emotions are temporary and chaos inducing because it's ups and downs, comes and goes. In essence, why? Because, as Karen spoke about a number of years back, we tend to love conditionally. Probably most of the time. We love conditionally. Even parents. You love your children tremendously. At the same time, here and there, they don't do what you want. They don't act the way you want. They're not going down the path you want. And then there's often the loss of that feeling of love. Yes, even if it's temporarily, but there's that loss. Feel love when they're going and doing the things you want, and then when they don't, little anger, resentment, fear, whatever it is the loss of that love that you just felt. We love our friends as long as they're doing the right things according to us, they're acting the right ways according to us, and then when they do something that we don't like, all of a sudden there's no more love, no more friendship. So it's important to understand that the emotional aspect of love, the ups and downs, is not true, because true love has to last forever. We'll get there. Don't jump yet. What's the original love? The original source of love, or as now we can talk about it, unity. The original unity, those of you who have taken the classes, if this is your first time and you've never taken Kabbalah 1, go to Kabbalah.com, take Kabbalah 1, and you'll get it in a deeper, more explained way. But we'll just speak it out. The original unity is the light of the Creator that fills the vessel called the soul of humanity. One Creator shining one infinite light into the vessel, the soul, that is the one soul of all humanity. That's the original love. That's the eternal love. Our soul loving, unified with the light of the Creator. The love of the Creator, therefore, maybe we understand it now in a better way or a deeper way. The love of the Creator, now we understand what it means, is unconditional, meaning there is never, ever a disconnect of the light of the Creator, which is the essence of true love, with the soul of humanity. Even we've emanated, if you will, stretched out into 8.5 billion bodies, there is still only the one original vessel soul, just emanated out on what we call here the one soul spiritual internet that unites, connects my soul with every human being on earth. Your soul with every human being on earth. Just like the internet in that concept. Why we can have the ups and downs, why we can like and not like, love and then not love, be happy and then not happy, etc., is because as we came into this world, we planted an AI program called the opponent in our head. We talked about the idea of the opponent, Satan, the adversary, a couple weeks ago. And you can go back here on Facebook or go back to the YouTube channel and have you and your friends watch it. The opponent in our head that we programmed to oppose our sharing the light, which is the reason why we're here, shining the light 24/7, so that we are connected lovingly to the infinite light of the Creator that exists on the One Soul Internet in the soul of every human being. The Creator loves, as traditionally was said, the Creator loves the saint and the sinner, the believer, the non-believer. That's unconditional love, meaning the light of the Creator shines 24/7 in this entire universe. Never is there a moment that light doesn't shine. Never. But the opponent in our head gives you and me the free will, the choice to share the light, not share the light, and within its programming is all the reasons and justifications why not to share our light, why we should stop loving somebody or caring about somebody or being kind and compassionate towards somebody. And so when you think about it, if you go back to what you thought before we started today, and you could say to your friends, and maybe you have said it, oh, these are the people I love. But those people, whether they're in your family, friends, business, social circles, or just in the world in general, these are the people I love. Those are the people that you don't love. Meaning it's conditional. Meaning it's unlike the true love of the Creator, which we are all here to imitate. And we want from this day forward to aspire more quickly, more intensively to achieve that unconditional love as the Creator has, so we can manifest and experience all the blessings that the Creator has already given us, because our soul is filled with blessings, light of the Creator just waiting for us to emanate it, reveal it, shine it out into the world. So then ask yourself, do you really want all your blessings? Are you happy with the chaos, the confusion, the negative emotions that you have right now? Some people, like the Rav called it, love to hug their chaos. So some of you, even now that you're being more made aware, if you're objective, yeah, there's probably ways and means that you love to hug your chaos, which just means how long have you held on to resentment? Even, let's say, more than a week, then you're hugging your chaos. Hurt, more than a week, you're hugging your chaos. Anger, jealousy, judgment, fear, guilt, shame. If you're holding on to any of those, and I'm being generous, more than a week, it's conditional love. It's not the love of the Creator. So if you really want to achieve that ultimate love, now you understand. It means to shine your light 24/7 unconditionally. That's quantum consciousness. That's connecting to your, from your point of view, your entire spiritual being and life force. One infinite vessel called the soul of humanity, stretched into the spiritual internet of 8.5 billion end users, means that from my point of view, there is only Chaim in the world. My entire spiritual being is partly, so to speak, in me, but also the other 8.5 billion parts of my true soul is out there in the bodies of all people on earth. So we learn here, and we do in our meditations, which we'll do today also, to extend the light out to everybody. Because I want all my blessings. I want to stop the chaos of my life and the chaos in the world. I can't say, and don't let your opponent tell you, oh, if only I could have 100% peace and harmony. That's still not enough. Because the chaos of the world being on a one soul internet, if there's not worldwide peace and harmony, revelation of all the soul's light, then somewhere, somehow, some of that chaos in the dark spots, because people have disconnected from the light of the Creator from their point of view. Remember, there's no such thing as the Creator's light being gone, moved away, or non-existent. The light of the Creator is infinite. From a person's point of view, like we always say, if you close your eyes right now, I disappear. And when you look around your room, everything in your room, in your house has disappeared. Not because it is gone, because you disconnected from it temporarily. All you have to do, open your eyes, and suddenly it all appears again. So we have closed the eyes of our heart, it's called in the Zohar. We have put a cover, a veil, over our eyes and allowed the opponent in our head to make us resent people, have anger, hurt, guilt, shame. Sometimes people don't want to talk to other people because they're so embarrassed because of the guilt of what they did to them 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Which means, yes, we can acknowledge we made a mistake. But holding guilt means the opponent has stopped you from repairing it. Repair the mistake you made, and there is always a repair. How do you start? How do you start this transformation? How do you start elevating your consciousness and therefore your true love and all the blessings that being more and more unified with the infinite light of the Creator and the infinite supply of blessings that you are meant to have and will eventually have, that process is in your hands to accelerate. And the first and most important step is just envision a beam of light going out of your heart and soul, which is filled 100% with the light of the Creator. Just envision a beam of that going out, and start with situations and people that you've held that resentment or guilt or whatever, where there's, from your point of view, darkness, chaos and confusion. Start shining your soul's light into the darkness. Just like in the physical world, the light will take away darkness. Do not let your opponent put in your head, well, will they change? Won't they change? How's it going to make them change? That's not our job. We have no ability to change people. The only way we can affect a change, not only in ourselves, but in everyone around the world, is by shining light to awaken the light in their heart and soul. And then you let the light in them, the true Creator programming in them, be activated more intensively, more powerfully. That, as it awakens inside them, will guide them to be more light-like, more God-like, more loving, more compassionate, more generous, more humble, more of all the light Creator-like behaviors. It's the only way. You cannot force people externally to behave the way you want, to stop doing their negative actions. The same way, we cannot be forced to change. How many people do you know who've had some kind of an addiction and going in the ups and downs and having terrible, terrible, terrible experiences with their addiction, out on the streets, all kinds of ailments, all terrible types of things going on in their life, and then they try and make an effort externally, change the behavior, change their behavior, act in a different way, make an effort to resist whatever that addiction is. Consciousness is everything. Consciousness is everything. If there's no change of consciousness, people cannot change eternally. Yes, like you and I, you ever felt so much anger awakening in you or judgment, and yet you bit your tongue, not going to say anything, just going to put on a smile. Yeah, so externally it can look, and it seems you didn't scream, you didn't yell, you didn't have a fight, whatever. But did you change any piece of the anger, the judgment, the criticism, the hatred, the animosity that you were feeling inside? No. Only a change of consciousness. And that's the beauty of this fundamental system that we teach over and over in the center. Beam light out of your heart and soul to all the people in the world, particularly and pointedly at the people you have issues with, the people that you feel have created darkness, etc. You do that, and as we said, you wake up the light in them more and more strongly, more and more powerfully. Eventually that light will then cause them to change. My simple example, think back to something that you felt guilt about, an action you did to somebody else that now you feel guilty. Or maybe you had felt guilt and then you did something about it to alleviate the guilt, apologizing, making up, whatever it may have been. But let's look objectively. When you did the action, the opponent in your head justified it in every way possible. You didn't feel guilt doing the action. Sometime later, with an awakening of more light, higher consciousness, bigger picture of consciousness, greater spiritual awakening, the light that radiated from that now illuminated in your perspective the negativity, the insensitivity of that action you did, and then of course right away awakens a sense of guilt. Then some people just like to wallow in their guilt. Still reactive, still destructive, still keeping their life in chaos. The point of now the guilt, like many of you have done, and hopefully will do more with the ways and the places you feel guilt, went back to fix it, at least from your side. The Kabbalists say if you go with true, heartfelt apology, remorse, regret, and you go to that person, they say 3 times, heartfelt, and beg, ask forgiveness. And in our case, we'd also add shining light as you're asking. Even if they reject your apology, but heartfelt, with light beaming out of you, it's as if you are forgiven. Meaning what? You've shined enough light to transmute from your point of view that amount of darkness, taken away the curtain that was hiding the light there, and that light has now become revealed and brings blessing into your life and greater peace and serenity. Their side is their side. So now some of you thinking, and it's come up in my class these last couple weeks, so it's very close, it's right here. People say, okay, I get the idea, send light, light takes away darkness, but I feel it's fake. It's not wholehearted as I'm sending light. So maybe they should wait until it's more wholehearted. So the first thing to understand is no such thing as fake light. If a person is actually thinking, sending light from my heart and soul out to other people, the world, etc., then there's only real light going out. Because there's no such thing as fake light. So it may not be wholehearted, but there's some more light. And look at the shift of consciousness. Yesterday, you might have never thought to send them light. So the shift of consciousness, which is real light, is, you know what? I'm going to scan the Zohar because it awakens more light. That's the system. It's like the Zohar is the button you push on your computer to activate different things on your computer, different operating or systems, applications. So as you're scanning your Zohar, you're activating the light inside you that hasn't been activated up to now. It exists, but not activated. Then as you're sending light because you're thinking about it that you didn't think yesterday, it's real light. Yes, again, it may only be a small amount. Let's say 5 watts of light, so to speak, versus the 5 million that's inside you. Okay, great, but it's real light. And every amount of light is dissipating your negativity, your chaotic feeling, your inner stress and discord, shining light. It's awakening light in them, which eventually will help them change. But it's also bringing you more blessings because like attracts like. More light coming out of you, more light coming back to you. This is why the ultimate goal of every religion and spiritual system is called what? Love your neighbor as yourself. Because that means, the ultimate means that I see in my mind's eye, in the eyes of my heart, I see there's only me in this world. That every person is actually a reflection of me. And therefore I'm shining light on all of them, which is love. The unity that light brings when it envelops any number of things. It makes a oneness, a unity. Is it hopeless? Are there people who are hopeless, pipe dreams or whatever? No. So let me quickly tell you a story, again, biblical story, that I just read the explanation yesterday. The book of Deuteronomy, remember it's a code, but the end of Moses' life, and he's just before the Israelites moving into the Holy Land, the Promised Land, he's now reprimanding them. He's telling all the bad things that happen. A couple things that Kabbalists say is, one, the people that he's talking to were not the people who did the bad stuff. They all died out in the 40 years in the desert. The people who left Egypt, who saw the miracles of the splitting of the Red Sea and the 10 plagues and all these amazing things, that did the bad things, the mistakes, they weren't the people he's talking to. So why is he reprimanding them, one? And then there's a sentence, a reminder of what the Bible calls the cities of refuge, where a person who murdered accidentally, like the general example they say, was swinging an axe, and for whatever reason, the head came off, flew and hit somebody and killed them. So it wasn't intentional in any way. They run to one of these cities of refuge that are administered by the Levites, who are the ones who would teach people, inspire people to grow in their closeness to the Creator. Says there had to be the 42 cities of refuge that administered by, again, the Levites. And then it goes right into the 10 utterances, the 10 commandments, as most people would call it, which is the way to connect to the Creator 100%. So the Kabbalists say, well, Why talk about these cities of refuge in the middle of this? And it's explained, there is nobody that's hopeless. That no matter what bad things a person did, there is always, always, always a way to repair. Always. Light will always take away darkness. It's just the effort, which is what the 10 utterances, the 10 commandments represent. Shining enough light to take away the darkness of anything we may have ever done. And even the Kabbalists go so far to say is, when a person did what they considered the most negative thing, and they just did it, the Kabbalists say we're encouraged to hold the consciousness in the next second. The action of sharing, transformational, uncomfortable, shining our light out into that darkness, out into the situation that we did that mistake, instantly will take away the darkness and reveal light. That a person in essence, in a second of true effort, and it obviously have to be a huge effort to go this kind, quote, from a sinner to a saint in one moment. The same way that when you turn on the light in your house, instantly the darkness goes away, and in that same instant, light replaces the darkness. The light of the Creator in us is that much more powerful. And so remember, shining light on others will increase the amount of light shining out of you and therefore bring back more blessings. But also keep in mind, we've been given 100%. So if a person, let's say, is developed and they're at 70-30, 70% of their light is now revealed, they're shining it, they're 70% of their potential, kind, loving, generous, compassionate, humble, etc. But 30% is still hidden behind resentment, hurt, guilt, shame, fear, whatever. Then even when they look at their own family, the people they think they love the most in their life, they're still limited to loving that person only 70%. 30% will be what we explained earlier, basically conditional love. When they're doing the nice thing that we want, okay, we consider we love them. So it's not real, it'll go and come from our point of view when they don't do what you want them to do. So therefore, the more light you're shining out, the more love you're exuding, then the more you're loving your family and your friends, and that you're being loved, unified with the light of the Creator and all your blessings. So therefore, as you love the light in you more, then you can love the light in others more, because you'll see the light in their heart and soul more. And then we, as we're all doing this, we together can force a worldwide order to come out of chaos and force a worldwide light from within the darkness. Because we're shining light, awakening in all people on earth, which will bring their change. And then the world will be filled with the light and the love, unity of the Creator. And we will love the hell, chaos out of the world and return it to its true original perfection, heaven on earth, eternally, for all and forever. God bless. Okay. So many of you know we have a special event coming up next week. So after next Spiritual Sunday at noon, at least in our time zone, there's Ignite the Light. And it's an opportunity, it's a fundraiser that we do now, we did last year around the Rav's birthday. So I encourage you, I put the link here for giving to Spiritual Sunday, and you can put a little note for Ignite the Light. But we know spreading enough Zohar around the world, which literally just shines the light of God. That's it. If you could see past your five senses, this book emanates infinite light from the endless. The limitation is why there's not peace on earth yet, more and more people, because we've spread huge amount of Zohars, which will be announced where we are. But I'll tell you, don't tell them I told you, we've spread over 1 million in just less than a year and a half because of your contributions and people, the students around the world who have contributed to the Zohar project. When there's enough Zohar in the world, end of all pain, suffering, and death, because we'll have awakened to a critical mass inside every human being, the light and the operating system of the Creator, and pushed out the parasitic program of the AI, the false artificial intelligence called the opponent, and therefore we'll all be doing greater actions of love, kindness, and compassion. That's the end of chaos. So those of you who have been supporting us, thank you very much. Please continue, because I know the blessings come back to you at least double, triple for what you do, because by supporting the center, you're supporting literally a worldwide network that includes every human being on earth unconditionally. Doesn't matter religion, race, color, nationality, what have you. Everyone has a soul, and therefore they are included in the consciousness, the actions, and the desires of the Kabbalah Center to awaken the light in them, bring the light to manifest out of them to the world, and therefore no more darkness. We want to do our meditation. This is the Hey Hey Ayin, one of the 72 names. Hebrew letters just shine the light of the Creator. They're Hebrew, they're Aramaic. So the Zohar, being Aramaic, still made of these nanoparticles, these particles of the light of the Creator. And therefore, eyes, the window to the soul. Just let the shapes, Hey Hey Ayin, be engraved in your mind's eye. Because it's awakening the light in you. And by the way, give whatever you can, and do not be hesitant to even just give a few dollars if that's what you can. If that's all you can, but give it, because it will grow. And meanwhile, it will be reaching 8.5 billion people, their heart and soul. So again, Hey Hey Ayin, sitting comfortably in your seat, hands on your lap, feet flat on the floor, taking a few deep breaths in through the nose, hold the breath for a moment, exhale through the mouth. Allowing yourself to relax, letting go of the tension, the stress, whatever chaotic thoughts had been in your mind up to now. Let the breath, which is the light of God, flow through you. In through the nose, hold it for a moment, exhale through the mouth, and relax into this infinite light of the Creator in you and around you, which now you understand even deeper and more heartfelt is true unconditional love. And in this relaxed state, together in unity, we envision the Hey Hey Ayin, the name of God of unconditional love. See it above your head. See those 3 nanoparticles of the light of God shining, bright white light, from the endless world through the portals of the Hey Hey Ayin. And together we bring the Hey Hey Ayin through the top of the head, that it cleanses, transmutes all the darkness as it spreads from head to toe, removing the veils and curtains of fear, anger, jealousy, resentment, any aspect of darkness reactivity, removing those veils and revealing the light that exists in every part of your being, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Unconditional love, true unity between your soul and the body that it's in and the infinite light of the Creator. Take note of whatever your soul, the voice of your soul, is speaking to you. To love that person, to go ask truly heartfelt forgiveness, to remove the space between you and them, fundamentally with the light. Even though you may never see them again or speak to them, you want to be released from the darkness you've been holding. And so together, as we settle the Hey Hey Ein, particularly in the mind and in the heart, soul, we beam, a beam of that light, Hey Hey Ein, unconditional love, from our heart and soul, through all our family and friends, awakening a greater level of Hey Hey Ein, unconditional love in them. And see it, a beam of that light, out from them to the people, the situations that you've had any issues with, that you now realize very consciously you have disconnected from the light of your soul that resides in their being. So you're shining light through the family and friends to their heart and soul, awakening the light in them and emanating more, higher level of your soul's potential, and receiving, manifesting more of the eternal blessings the Creator planted in you. And then see a beam of Hey Hey Ein light out from them, literally to the hearts and soul of every human being on earth. Every human being. As the Creator shines light on them, we want all our blessings to be manifest, and we want the end of pain, suffering, and death. And so we send light to their heart and soul, connecting to their true goodness, righteousness, and not to their negative behavior, not to their spiritual mud. See that light emanating from the hearts and soul of all people, that the earth is surrounded in pure light, unconditional love. The world operating, all people, with unconditional love. True love your neighbor as yourself. Pure unity, heart to heart, soul to soul. That there's no more darkness, no more divisiveness. Pure love, unity, oneness. Heaven on earth. And see how that light radiates throughout all of the universe, manifesting the infinite light of the Creator that does fill the universe. Notice how much more peaceful you feel, how much more certain you are in the light of the Creator to remove all chaos, to guide and direct you and support you in your spiritual journey of transformation, to take away darkness and reveal light. From you individually, and that radiates out to all humanity. Let it be anchored in your heart, mind, and soul. And together we take one more deep breath. And slowly exhale. And open your eyes to a new reality. Thank you all for joining us. Share this video with others. I will post the link for the Ignite the Light. Those of you who have not registered yet or did not know about it can join us next week. If you're near Boca, we will have a watch party together in the Boca Center. So once you've registered, you can contact the center tomorrow or Tuesday and get all the details. All right, God bless. Have an amazing, amazing week till we meet again.